Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
Now to breaking news back here. The LA County Sheriff's Department is in pursuit, and Desmond Chaw is live in Sky 2 with more. Where are you, Des?
Well, deja vu, Pat, another pursuit in the 11 o'clock hour and another dangerous one as well. We're in the city of Downey, pretty close to the 105 and the 710. This vehicle that looks like it is falling apart. It's barely even going. We've seen sparks flying, the bumper's flown off. You can see damage to the vehicle. Not sure if they were in a crash in this pursuit or if it happened earlier, but this vehicle is not in good shape. Two people that were in the back got out, but the driver didn't slow down enough for the third person to try to get out. So there were at least three passengers. Two of them got out, so there's still at least two people in this vehicle. There may be someone in the passenger seat as well. Really high speeds right now. We're on Rosecrans Avenue. This person taking a ton of chances. You see the spotlight overhead from law enforcement, LA County Sheriff's deputies. That's their helicopter. And there are some units in pursuit. They're kind of hanging back a little bit right now, but driving like a maniac here, Pat.
Oh, it certainly looks like it. Do we know what the person was wanted for? I know you said this is a felony suspect.
No, that's still mysterious to us. And usually whenever law enforcement gives us something vague like that, and they just say it's a felony suspect, a lot of times it ends up being something very serious. So unconfirmed at this point as we go over the LA River, and we're going to be approaching the 710 freeway as well. Now going over the 710, going right through that red light, right up against these innocent folks right here. I'm just wondering how much longer this looks like. An older model Lexus, maybe a Lexus GS, but bumper's missing. One of the tires may be in bad shape. So I'm just wondering how much longer this vehicle can maneuver.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. That must be, I guess, that headlight. You see how it's reflected there on the street? Or maybe that's just from our video. Looks very strange, though. You see that? Almost looks like a green.
Yeah.
Right? That's. I haven't seen that before.
It might be the headlight. It might be the headlight knocked out
Itself.
of place because he was bottoming out over some culverts there awfully fast, going over these dips at 30, 40 miles an hour. So it might have knocked one of the headlights out of place. Thanks to our Simon Desk for just letting us know the answer to that question, Pat. Felony vandalism is what we're now being told is the want on this vehicle, this older model Lexus. So must be awfully serious. Yeah, if it was, maybe freeway tagging or someone's expensive personal property, unclear. But they're certainly vandalizing this vehicle the way they've been driving it. You see the bumper missing on the back. We actually saw the bumper fall off in the intersection back in Downey. And I think we're up to probably about 60 miles an hour right here on, I think we're on Magnolia Avenue as we just crossed underneath the freeway here. So we're headed northbound right now, kind of paralleling the 710, and I think we're going to be making our way, we're headed southbound right now. My awesome pilot ride clarifying, we are indeed heading northbound. Sometimes, Pat, with these pursuits, and at night we get spun around when they make all these pursuits, that we get a little disoriented ourselves, but we are headed northbound right now, up through the Bell Gardens area and kind of towards, a little bit towards downtown LA. Okay,
well, I mean, you always do yeoman's work up there, you and your pilots, Desmond. So don't worry about that. You know what's interesting? You mentioned that they were on a couple of freeways there. Then they've been on surface streets for a while. That was a wild move there, making that wild right turn there, right in front of that car. Okay, our picture is freezing up a bit, but there we go. Desmond is back on. Now, are they getting back on the freeway, Des? And which one is this?
Yeah, getting on the freeway. Yeah, we're on the southbound 710, kind of looping back around. We first heard about this 710 at Alondra, and it was sheriff's deputies with the Lakewood station, so maybe looping back around to where this began. I hate seeing this on the freeway, this vehicle that is in such bad shape right now. And not a lot of traffic on the southbound 710 right now, but definitely going to encounter some vehicles here as we get ready to cross underneath the 105 headed towards Long Beach. Okay,
and we should mention too that we're not exactly sure how this happened, how this vehicle became so banged up and damaged, and we're looking at what is just such a weird looking sight there. That light is probably the headlight that has come off, that is still hanging on by a thread, if you will. Also, Des, I noticed that they have turned, looks like their lights are off. Yep.
Yeah, maybe just like the pursuit last night, not seeing any tail lights. It's possible they were just damaged in all of this and have shut out. I mean, I still see the headlights, so that's kind of weird that we don't see any tail lights, or at least one headlight, maybe two there. Hard to say. This vehicle is in such poor shape right now. We were seeing a lot of sparks coming out earlier. Not sure if it was, it might have just been the bumper that was dragging off the ground before it detached onto one of the surface streets here. But yeah, we've definitely got lights out now at this point. I'm only seeing maybe one headlight, which is weird. That light that you were referring to earlier, Pat, that all of a sudden went out. Yeah, but I think we could see the passenger side headlights still hanging in there.
You know, just want to make a comment here. When you said this vehicle will want it for felony vandalism, which kind of makes sense if you have, we had a number of passengers in this vehicle, I believe at least 4. Some of them got out. Okay, what's going on here, Des? Is he spinning out of control? It almost looked that way.
A U-turn here. Yeah, for a second I wouldn't have been surprised.
No, that was a raggedy U-turn.
Go over, on Alondra Boulevard right now, eastbound, so back over the 710 freeway. So turning around again, and this is right about where we heard the pursuit start, was right in this area. But flying along, you see these high speeds. A major boulevard has been blasting through a couple of red lights. There goes LA County Sheriff's deputies helicopter through our shot, so they're still.
Okay, we're still.
They are not.
There we go.
Near this vehicle right now.
All right, we had you. You dropped out for a moment there, Des. Are you saying they're not near this vehicle? The sheriff's department, they backed off a bit?
On the ground, they are not.
Okay, but they're still following overhead.
Yeah, they still got the spotlight overhead. That's the sheriff's helicopter there, making another turn here off of Alondra Boulevard, and now we're headed southbound. So there you see the airship there again crossing into the screen. But yeah, no deputies on the ground anywhere near this vehicle at the moment.
We know it's okay.
Whoa, wide turn there.
That was a wide turn. It's up now. He seems to be staying in the same area, would you say, Desmond? Relatively. Oh, this is interesting.
Maybe let's see if let's see if they're headed somewhere. Maybe seeing that deputies are not, very far behind, or are not, in close proximity. So maybe thinking that they can get away. Trying to peek in there and see if we could see anyone in the passenger seat. But we know that there's at least 2 people in the vehicle. See if we can see this opportunity to see if there's anyone in that passenger seat. Because hard to say. I believe that one of the passengers is in the in the rear seat still at this point, not necessarily in the passenger seat. So if there isn't anyone in the passenger seat, then there's still 3 people in this vehicle, which means there was 5. A real close call there, going through that red light.
Okay, this looks to be this is a residential neighborhood as well. We passed some. It looked like apartment buildings. Of Deershot, and obviously some businesses there. It's pretty well lit outside. I mean, the area itself is well lit.
Yeah, definitely well lit. So people will see this maniac coming through them, unlike last night when they were driving around that black car with no headlights on and flying around at 110 miles an hour. So, and you see the spotlight pretty effective tonight. I'm just wondering if they're technically in tracking mode, since there's no deputies behind. When LAPD goes into tracking mode, but they keep their helicopter on, their protocol is to turn the spotlight off. But sheriffs have different protocol, and they'll often leave their spotlight on. So we may be, and they actually call their surveillance mode, which is what we may be in right now. There you see the helicopter once more, but there are no deputies really anywhere near this right now.
Okay, but
maybe about a half mile behind, actually.
Well, as we saw last night, we saw them catch up to the vehicle. Remember, they pulled back for the longest time, and then they finally, can you tell us again how that ended? Because you had to get some fuel. We were off the air, but we understand that there was a woman passenger in that riding shotgun in last night's pursuit. And I'm just bringing that up again because we were talking about how dark it was and we could barely see. And they had pulled back the ground units and then, caught up with the vehicle, as they tend to do. they follow from the sky, and you know, they still have their eyes and ears on where this vehicle is or where a pursuit vehicle is, and catch up with them later. Happens a lot.
Yeah, so that was there was one woman in the car, and apparently was driving that vehicle so hard that the car caught fire. We didn't hear about any crash on that one. That older Audi caught fire, and she got out in a commercial parking lot and ran up, making another U-turn here. She had a dog with her last night. Fortunately, the dog was okay.
Oh,
well, here you see deputies. Now all of a sudden, just when we didn't hardly see any, they were kind of swarming the area there. Maybe they were sensing that he was going to get out and run. So, you know, that's the thing. These deputies are awfully clever, all the law enforcement. Just because you don't see them in the shot doesn't mean that they are not very nearby. They're all communicating this with each other. Here you see more deputies right here. They had a spike strip, it looked like, that he wanted to use. And now we are getting on the freeway. Let's see here,
Is
Ryan,
that the
are we on the
710?
105 now?
Oh, 105?
I think we're going to be on the 105. Stand by here for just 1 second. But back on the freeway once more.
And Desmond, CHP never got involved in this, did they?
No, they did not. We never heard CHP on this one. CHP was busy trying to pursue and nab someone from the end of that street takeover that we were showing you at the beginning of the newscast up in the Alhambra area. So this has all been sheriff's deputies, a completely unrelated event here.
Well, it's been interesting watching how they've been working this one. You know, watching for first we could see them following this vehicle close behind, and then they backed off. And well, look at the chopper there. Then they just had the helicopter, night sun lighting up this vehicle. We didn't see any law enforcement on the ground. And then, you know, out of nowhere, you think they may not. They have their eyes on you, even if you can't see them, or even if we can't see them, because they certainly came out of nowhere, it seems. I mean, not one, but several vehicles. That so you know that they had a plan, and obviously they still have a plan. We thought there could have been a spike strip laid, or maybe they were trying to do that or attempting to do that, but not in time.
Yeah, that's these law enforcement. I'll tell you, it almost seems like they have cloaking devices on sometimes, because you just see them come out of nowhere. And, you know, they might be hiding on surface streets. And you saw that deputy who was out there with the spike strip, but it just didn't work out, as we're on the westbound 91, so headed towards Gardena at this point. And the deputies, they are back there, but they don't have their lights on. So I think they are officially in surveillance mode. So they're kind of just lying in wait, waiting to see where this takes them. Maybe he's going to feel comfortable to get out and run, thinking that he has a good head start, but deputies will not be that far behind. They are actually trying to get CHP in place now, though. So CHP has not been involved, but sheriffs are trying to change that. It sounds like now that we're kind of sticking to freeways, they want to see if they can get CHP to take this one over.
Okay, and you know what's interesting too, Des? I mean, this car looks pretty beat up, so you just wonder how long it could go in the first place. I saw some sparks. Did you see that? I think he hit a speed bump or something like that.
There's been a lot of sparks coming out of this one, for sure. Over speed bumps, over divots. Oh, really close to that motorcycle on the right-hand shoulder. Very, very dangerous right there. Zigging and zagging all over the place. No, he's just got the one headlight there, and you know, just the spotlight overhead to illuminate him right now, as we are going to be approaching the 110 freeway here shortly. So making our way through Compton and the South LA area. And I actually see a few more sparks here coming out of the very front of the car. So something's dragging there right now. If it's the tire that's getting ready to give out, or something else is creating sparks on the ground.
Yep, not a good sign. Can you see CHP engaged now, Desmond, or still Los Angeles sheriffs?
It's still sheriffs at this point. You see the two white doors there. That means sheriffs or police. So waiting to see the one white door from CHP. It could take them a bit of time to get in place, because they want to make sure that they have more than one unit in place. They're probably going to want 3 or 4 to be standing by, maybe kind of staggered to come and join this as the suspect passes by some of the on-ramps here. And once again, we've got the typical kind of limousine tint on the windows here, so very difficult to see what's going on inside of this vehicle. We know there's at least 2, possibly 3 people, and with the sheriff's in surveillance mode and trying to get CHP involved here. Westbound on the 91, we'll be crossing the 110 freeway, and actually once we do, if he stays on the 91, this is going to end onto Artesia Boulevard, but getting over to the right, we'll see what they're going to pull here next.
Okay, and this started in Lakewood. There were 4 people, at least 4 people in this vehicle, and as Desmond reported, he noticed 2 people were able to jump out. It almost looked like a third was trying to exit the vehicle but wasn't able to. So this vehicle kept driving, and we understand that they are wanted for felony vandalism. And now, of course, there will be other charges tacked on to whatever they were wanted for in the first place, if it's felony vandalism or other incidents, other crimes, so to speak. But now certainly evading police, reckless driving. You know, you could just have a litany of charges with this driver now.
And Pat, we're making the transition out to the northbound 110, it looks like, so headed towards downtown. And let's see if they stay on the freeway or start getting onto some surface streets in LAX's airspace. We know how complicated that can be for us. And I'm hearing deputies talking about now that CHP will be getting in position shortly. So we'll see how aggressive they get. Maybe we'll see a pit maneuver once they get off the freeway, if they get off of the freeway. Obviously, we won't see that taking place on the freeway with these kind of speeds. But the car kind of listing a little bit there. I'm really just afraid that this driver is going to lose control of this vehicle that is barely keeping it together right now.
Yeah, I noticed that a couple of times, Desmond, as you mentioned that this vehicle is pretty damaged, but which could account for why he could be losing control of this vehicle, because he's been going in and out. Not that he's necessarily doing it on its own, but this car almost seems to just sort of veer in and out and making jerky moves.
Yeah, I mean, and they bottomed out so hard on so many speed bumps and dips in the road. I mean, I'm kind of surprised it didn't do more damage to this vehicle as it is. Of course, I believe this is an older model Lexus known for their legendary reliability. So even after the beating that this vehicle has already taken one way or another, it is still chugging along here. Northbound on the 110. Going to be coming up on the 105 here shortly. Getting up to some pretty high speeds. Looks like we might be pretty close to 100 miles an hour at the moment. You see them just flying by all these people on the left.
And that just seems so scary considering the condition that this car is in and how we've seen it rocking at times. Don't know how safe it is even for that vehicle. It looks like it's been ridden pretty hard, you know? He's been driving it.
Yeah.
In the ground, so to speak. So what does it look like ahead?
And,
just past Imperial Highway.
Well, we got some road work. I can see some road work up on a couple of the right-hand lanes as we cross over the big complex here with the 105 continuing northbound 110. Oh, we'll see. Oh no, he's going into the construction zone. Oh, he's going. Oh, this is bad. But he's underneath.
There he is.
Okay, there we go. I just saw those cones and my heart was racing for the, potential workers out there, but looked like it was a small construction zone there. And you can see CHP now. There they are. There's the airship there from Sheriff's once again. Stand by here. I believe we're going to have to, Ryan, did we get clearance into LAX? Okay, Ryan, give me the thumbs up. So we'll have to hang back a little bit, but as long as he stays on the freeway here, we'll be able to give you a pretty good shot as we head towards downtown LA, northbound on the 110. Coming up on Manchester.
Yeah, I just saw the sign there saying Manchester, and again, his lights are off, and he's still, driving in those jerky movements. But certainly CHP is keeping up with this vehicle. Almost makes you wonder.
We'll see how aggressive. We'll see how aggressive they want to stay with this one. They're pretty aggressive the last couple of days after we saw them give up a couple of pursuits last week.
Yeah.
They hung with the one last night that stuck, even though we weren't able to get the ending. They stuck with it for many, many miles. They went and apprehended someone who was involved in a street takeover, a sideshow tonight. And now they are involved in another pursuit here, handed off from LA County Sheriff's deputies, a felony getting a little tongue twisted here. Felony vandalism suspect. At least 2 people in the vehicle. That and the other passenger there, we don't know their involvement in it, but they really wanted to get out of the vehicle. But the 2 people that got out, they fell because the driver didn't stop completely when he dropped them out. Someone kind of rolled a couple of times on the ground, and this person tried to get out, but they were not able to. So they're still there in the back seat.
Now,
probably
Desmond,
really wishing that they were not in this vehicle right now.
I would be wishing that. Now, Desmond, let me ask you this. Do we know if law enforcement was able to pick up those two people that jumped out of the car?
I was not able to hear anything about that. Oh,
What?
kind of cutting over into the express lanes now. Another piece there. That might have been a piece of side trim that just flew off there. So a hazard left in lanes. And again, this vehicle just falling apart, but getting over the express lanes to avoid this traffic. Boy, even at this late hour, the 110, of course, looks like there's road work here. So getting over into the express lanes. These are going to end at Adams, or on the elevated portion right now, so they actually don't even have an opportunity to exit. It almost seems like the speeds are probably just a little too high. I mean, you're thinking there's no traffic here. You've got separators on both sides. Maybe they could try a pit maneuver or something, but only ever one time have I ever seen a pit maneuver done on the freeway. That was by LAPD, and I believe they were chastised for that afterwards. So don't think we're going to see that here, but he's basically committed, totally stuck on the carpool lane. All he can do is continue forward, I believe, to the ending here at Adams.
And then we'll see what he's going to do then. He has been on surface streets for a while, but he's sticking with the freeways, or at least he seems to be for the last almost 10 minutes here, it seems.
Yeah, did a big loop around from where this started around the 710 at Alondra. We've covered quite a bit of ground, and now getting into downtown LA, and I believe that's going to be CHP's spotlight that you see. Okay, so he was actually able to cut over there before the end of the carpool lane, and continuing northbound. We're coming into Exposition Park, and just wondering why they're headed to downtown LA. If they're thinking that maybe they can lose the helicopter there or something. Not sure if there's any strategy or rhyme or reason, or if this suspect just knows that the jig is up and they're going to just
ride it as
drag
long
this
as they
out basically
can.
as long as they can.
Or until the car gives
basically
out.
drag it out as long as possible. So had to get past the end of the 110 carpool lanes there, and now we'll be able to give you a better shot as we come out of LAX's airspace. You still see a couple of sparks there kicking up off of the front tires as well.
And I still can't believe the speed that it's smoking.
Oh, there goes.
Was that a tire?
Yeah, might have lost a tire. Might have lost a tire there. Another, I'm seeing little chunk. Oh, no!
Wait
the
a
hood's
minute.
up. He won't even be able to see. Won't even be able to see
Desmond.
at this point. We said that this car, this car was in bad shape, Pat. I mean, look, I don't think I've ever seen this happen before. And continuing to drive with the hood up. He can't possibly see what's in front of him right now.
Well, there's a big bus in front of him.
This bus.
Oh, boy. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Underneath another overpass here. Yep. Still going.
On the freeway, driving with the hood. How is he able to see? Well, now we've lost the picture for a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're efforting to get this high-speed pursuit. There it is.
What happened? Okay.
Now this is really strange.
Okay, you got me back, Pat?
Got you back. Wait, what is he doing? He's got his hands out the window, Desmond.
Whoa, turning sideways. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
They said that's it. There's no way they can possibly continue. Not a very graceful stop there, but
not at all.
Immediately threw the keys out. Hands are up. We know that there's at least 2, or maybe there's 3 people because there was someone in the passenger seat. Yeah, just kind of slithered out of the car there.
And now he's
but,
I don't mean to laugh, Desmond, but for goodness sakes, what is that?
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
I don't think we've seen a couple of firsts on this pursuit.
Oh.
But CHP getting up. Let's see if the passenger will be a little bit more graceful with this surrender right here. And not sure if this was the person who was in the back seat and then if they crawled into the front seat, or there may still be one more person in the vehicle. But this person, a little bit more expeditiously obeying the commands.
Yeah.
No idea what their involvement was in this pursuit, but there's 2. Let's see if there's a third.
That's just wild.
And,
the driver just decided to dive out and do the worm on the ground. I mean, seriously.
Decided to get one more dance out before going off to jail for the night. So coming in to clear the vehicle, and it looks like that was the only other person. I think I just saw the 4 fingers there. We're eastbound on the 10, just past the 10. Driver so lucky that they didn't crash, continuing to go even after the hood went up, but fortunately didn't hurt any innocent people, and we have 2 people in custody.
All right. Well, Desmond, again, this was just one of the, you know, every time we're on the air practically, we talk about, okay, haven't seen this before. Only in LA do we outdo ourselves, and this one was very, very, very strange for that when that hood popped up like that, and he's still driving and not able to see, but I guess he finally said, well, I guess the jig is up now, so I need to. But you know what? We saw smoke. And you're saying you think he lost a tire?
Yeah. I think he might have lost a tire. This vehicle was on its last leg for a long time. I mean, the suspect was fortunate it lasted this long, and certainly fortunate to not crash in this one. And yeah, just when you thought you've seen it all, we find something new. So who knows what we're going to see next, Pat?
Well, Desmond, we will just stay tuned. Okay, we're going to call this a Code 4, Des. And thanks so much.